Hello, everyone. Good evening, good night in some places in North America. I'm really so happy to be here this night with all of you. Thank you for open this space to be together and to share ideas how to, well, not how to build a business, but more than ideas that helps to continue doing the activities we do. And I really appreciate that you take your time for that. Well, I'm going to start this night with our presentation. Now I think that we can see this one. Okay. Well, welcome to Nikken now. This is our event in February, and thank you for let me be in this time with all of you. For me, so important because it is a moment that we can have to share some ideas, and also, well, I will have some minutes at the end, like 10 minutes to have also feedback from you, from those that wants to participate regarding the topic that we are going to address tonight. And so, well, this is a very important topic that I brought this night, that is decision making and action, because anything that we do in life have consequences, as all we know. And those consequences can be some consequences that we don't like to have, or maybe those that we really want to have. And the thing is that when we start having a activities, any of the activities we do needs to have a decision making and action together. And well, that's something that all of you really know. And here I have this statement that says a real decision is measured by the fact that you have taken action. No action, you haven't truly decided. That's something that I really believe, that sometimes we make decisions, but we don't bring those decisions to actions, and we left them that way. Sometimes we say, I want to learn a new language. That's a decision, a wish or decision. But at the end, you don't take the classes, you don't take the lessons, and you don't take the time and the effort to learn the new language. And you can say, I want to lose some pounds, and that's you make the decision, but at the end you don't follow the decision with actions, and you don't change nothing. And sometimes we can say, oh, I want to do the business, and but I don't bring to that to an action, and then nothing happens. And that's something that we all know. But because one of the things that is important to say is that our past don't define us. The past is not what we are. We are the decisions we make. We are only that. The decisions we make is what we are. And that's important to say, because some people think that they are a result of their past. They are consequence of their past. No, we are only consequence from our decisions. That's what we really are. And we are here because we made some decisions last year, so we are here today. But it doesn't have something with my past. um, if some of you could know me when I was in my age, in between the 18 and the 25, oh, that was something so difficult. I made my mother have many gray hairs at that time. But one day I made a decision to take my life in my hands, and also to start working with a purpose. And then is when Nikken appears. It was amazing that happens, because it is, I made a decision and I bring to the action, and then that I say the godsidence happens, and this godsidence bring me to have this Nikken in front of me. And well, that's something that happens when you you have a real desire, and you make decisions, and you bring to the actions, then something also happens. Extra things happen some many times. So, but the number one enemy of decision making and action, guess what? The habit of postponing. That is the procrastination. And as I told you before, and I sometimes I told you this before, that I was a master in procrastination and postponing things. You get a level of master when you repeat an action for many times for a long period of time. You get a mastery. So I became master in postponing, master in procrastination, and I was really good on that. But the one of my teachers, one of my mentor in one of the training coaching I had with him, he says, "Oh, I noticed that you are a master in procrastination. You have a master in procrastination. You have a good degree in postponing things." So he says, "Why don't you use that to postpone the procrastination?" And I say, "Oh, that's a good idea." So after starting to postpone the procrastination, I became a person to make decisions and actions in a continuous process, and that's bring you to somewhere. But at the same time, I don't say that I never postpone things. I still do, but the balance is that I have more actions than that kind of procrastinations. So at the balance, the consequences are more from the actions than the postponing things. So this is something that I share with all of you many times. That is our mind. The mind is designed by nature to survive, not to be happy. And this is something that I really understand, because many people wants happiness in their lives, but everything they do is to survive. So happiness is far away for that action. And happiness, the surviving process is just based on avoiding pain and seeking pleasure. If you are good in avoiding pain and seeking pleasure, you can survive. And we have that in our genes from the past. And the thing is that if you avoid pain, you will keep yourself alive. And if you seek for pleasure, we understand pleasure for the feeling of security, of the feeling of being in a group, to have the sense of belongingness. Is that kind of pleasure what I mean? And this is something that happens all the time, that we look for food, for a roof on our heads, and also to have a relation with other human beings. So here is what happens with the surviving mindset, that we have different habits that comes from this behavior. And one of these, for example, people that smokes, they have the habit for smoking, and this is something that the smokers knows that is a bad habit. They know, but why they can't stop? The reason why they can stop is because when they start smoking in the early years of their lives, they discover that that they have the peer pressure that they had becomes some celebration from your friends saying, "Hey, you smoke, you're one of us," and that creates the pleasure side. It's social engagement, to be with others, part of a group of people. And then avoiding pain is in two ways. One is that the smoke and the nicotine uh, makes some kind of change the situation in your nerves, and you feel kind of relaxation and kind of relax that is not real, is based of the smoke and nicotine, that make your nerve system come down, but in a very bad way. A bad way because it's not natural. But that feeling that is one of the sides, and the other is that you don't feel the rejection from your peers. So that means that this is also avoiding pain. And once your mind learn this, a lot of people in that situation cannot stop anymore for smoking. And this happens also with food. This happens also with bad relationships, or this happens also with any kind of habit that you have a strong addiction to that habit. So that's the kind of things that happen. But also, by the other hand, based on this, you can develop good habits that really help you to enhance your life. So here we have one of the mechanisms that we use to trigger the mechanism of surviving, that is fear. Fear is the factor that our body recognizes to trigger immediately our surviving mode. And this is something that is really happening all the time. When we don't understand our fears will take control of us. When we understand that fear is something that we can use to motivate us to do something extraordinary, then we can use our fear to success. For example, my fear of not having the resources to have my family in a good position. That fear makes me work hard and provide to my family what they need. It is a way to use fear in a positive way. And this my fear of lose money makes me save money and start learning how to invest money. But this is one way to use fear in a positive way. But in other occasions, fear stops you to do something that you really need to do. uh, some people start going to the gym, but they don't have the body shape, the fitness body shape, and they are ashamed to go to the gym, and they have the fear of what the others will say about you, and that stops you to go to exercise. And that's the things that can stop you. But maybe you can start going without listen that part of your fear saying that you will look bad, and then you do whatever you need to do to be good with you. So we experience this kind of fears, that is fear of not being capable, not being enough, fear of failure, fear of stepping outside the comfort zone, or success. Yes, there are people that are they feel fear for success, and the reason of this is because success most of the time brings you more obligations, and also brings you a certain level of loneliness. And the reason of this is because the more success you have, um, you make a difference in between you and the other people in your personal development mindset, how you deal with your emotions, your responsibilities, your obligations. Separate a little bit this, and makes you have a sense of more loneliness. And that's part of the successful people. Also, some people also says, I don't want to be successful because I don't want to get the attention of the bad guys that will come to try to take my things from me. So that's the things that happen sometimes. But there are the basic fears that most of the people experiences are these. And these all together, there are days that you feel overwhelmed, uh, uh, over overwhelmed. Yes, that sometimes happens, that there are too much things in one moment or in one day, that you experience anxiety, headaches, a lot of tension, because you had a lot of all this together. But also, one of the things that we do is that we pay more attention when we have bad habits, we procrastinate, then we need to run for many things at the end of the month, or when the time is coming, the moment to the deadline, and we start having this panic, and we switch to be to work under pressure. And there are people that say I'm very good to work under pressure, or there are also people that experience this sense of urgency based on the lack of good organization. So these things are something that always brings to people to feel the overwhelming situations, and well, we create that for us by ourselves, or sometimes the situations that surrounds us provokes that. But when you are not well organized, most of the things bothers you a lot. So here is the what we were talking last weekend with Dave Johnson's call 2 weeks ago. But this is another kind of explanation that I can do on this that will be more clear. Yes, when we are in front of something new, or a new experience, or a new relationship, or in front of a new opportunity, most of the people focus in their capability. Most of the people focus in that. And they start saying, I'm too old for this, too young for this, I'm not rich, I'm poor, I don't know how to speak in front of people, I'm not that healthy. Always referring in a negative way about your capability. And I don't have enough money, I don't have enough time, I'm not good speaking in front of people, I think that the products are very expensive, I think that the business is very difficult to develop. And we have all these connotations, or this way to describe ourselves based on our capability. Based on this, it's very difficult to get into the action, or a massive action. And if we don't have a massive action, and we have a mediocre action, we will not see good results. If we don't see good results, our belief will not grow. If our beliefs don't grow, we will say, see, I told you I'm not good speaking in front of people, or I will say, I am not enough good, or I don't have enough money, or I'm not I don't have the age to learn this, or that. So it reinforce, or that makes you to feel that what you thought about your capability was right. But this is the wrong approach that we can have, because when we do this way, whatever we do is not getting in the right direction. So I'm explaining a little bit more this in detail. The capability is result, or the image we have about us regarding this area is based on information from the past, for previous experiences. That makes you have a reference to talk that way about you. And it's better to stay with what you know and control than experience new things. So this is very important to understand, because this behavior, to think about your capability that way, is based on information from the past, for something that happens to you, or something that happens to another person, but you know about it, or you read in a newspaper, or you see in the news, or maybe there are some statements that people in a level of age, they are not good to go back to school or learn new things, or saying that that people that are very young, they don't have enough experience to start a XYZ activity. So, but that's information that we got from somewhere in the past, and we think, and we believe and we adopt the idea, and now we say things about us ourselves based on that, and that's the way we introduce ourselves to the new things. So, but now let's review this. What will happen if you keep postponing? What will happen? So let's think about this. How much pain, frustration, uncertainty, disappointment, and regret can there be in your future result of your habit of procrastinating? That will be huge, huge of these things. So the result will be pain in this case, pain in the future. Because we need to know that anything that you are happening today is also happening in the future. So we live in two dimensions at the same time. One is the dimension of the now, here, and what we do here, any actions we do here, is building something as a result in the future. That's not something that happens by chance. Most of the things, yeah, there are happenings, there are things that happens, but the way you behave in this present, anything that happens, you will give to that happening any of the kind of meaning that will drive you to a future with consequences, good or bad. But here is the thing, that if we procrastinate, if we don't do something that we really want to do or really want to have, we will have a result that we will be pain. That pain is one of the pains that I don't desire for you. This pain in the future is really painful, and but we don't see that it's happening. So some people, they are not taking care of themselves today, but they don't want the results that they will have in the past, in the future. So they don't want that result, but because they cannot see that that is happening in the future, they continue with the behavior today that will cause that pain in the future. That's amazing, because human being is the only creature on earth that can harm itself because of pleasure. Is the only creature on earth that can harm itself in pursuing pleasure. And that's the thing, that we create these painful situations, because sometimes, yeah, the situation change, maybe we are not that lucky or something, and something happened, but at the end, yeah, you can suffer. And uh, I always say, painful situations are many painful situations that we cannot avoid, but suffer the situation is optional. Okay, suffering the situation is totally optional. But in this case, this kind of pain is result of our lack of action, lack of vision, lack of purpose, that many people today are experiencing this pain, that there are not painkillers outside that can deal with this pain, because this pain is in your soul, is in your heart. And this is very difficult, because the past went, the time passed. So, but the reason we don't make action is because we stay too much time in our comfort zones. And I will repeat this many times, because it is important that we understand this very well, about the comfort zone. That is not wrong to be in the comfort zone. I never said that it's wrong. I will never judge someone that wants to stay in the comfort zone. I will never judge, because it is something that every single person decide to be there or not. But when you have this emotion that something is telling you that there is something else for you, something better for you, that you have that voice telling you that out there is something good for you, better for you, and you can see the possibilities, and you go to the area of possibility zone, you will find that the comfort zone is so tiny, so tiny. You can see the comfort zone in the left hand side of your screen, but the whole wide area is the possibility zone. So the thing what we were talking here a lot about this is that we have these limiting beliefs that are those that we use for not go over the wall in between the comfort zone and the possibility zone. So we need to develop driving beliefs. To develop these driving beliefs, we need to start hanging with people that are positive and they have driving beliefs. We need to read books, listen to people that have a good message regarding how to progress, how to break the wall of the comfort zone. And there are a bunch of information in YouTube, uh, and a lot of positive talking. We are in the best moment that we can get those very easily. I remember that in the past I had to buy a lot of tapes. Then I had to buy a lot of VHS or beta. Remember the tapes, and also I had a bunch of CDs later. But now it's more simple. Is if you have internet, you can get in most of these. I don't say motivational speaking. I say that it's more that self belief um, building. You build your self belief, and you create more driving beliefs. So that's important to know, and is if you pay for your internet, the rest is for free. Of course, there are courses, seminars that will have a cost, and you have to see how much money you will invest per year for that, because I have a budget for in between 15,000 to $20,000 a year to invest in seminars, courses, books, and that's my budget. But I always like to do that. Just starting this year, I already invest a couple of thousands to keep myself learning, but it is because I learned that I will not have nothing from the comfort zone, and I will get more from the possibilities. So here is one of the statements I like the most: the mind can be trained for prosperity and happiness. Uh, in a natural way, our mind is designed by nature to survive, but we can decide to train our mind for prosperity and happiness. And this is instead of avoid pain, is learn to overcome difficulties. Instead of to pursue pleasure, is achieve self-fulfillment. If we switch this will be very, very, very interesting, because it is a training process. It is, I always will say, to enrich your life, to enhance your lifestyle and your quality of life, you need a lot of training. You need a lot of training. If you don't train yourself, your fear will run for you everywhere. But if you train yourself, you will understand your fear, you will use your fear in a positive way, and also you will decide to have more connections with positive people. You will decide to do something with your food, your health, your habits, your relationships. So that's something that I always will say, that training is the process for prosperity and happiness. So the result of this will be pleasure. Pleasure of what? For a better health, better mind, better relationships, better finances, better contributions. That's the results when you train yourself for a better life. And so you train yourself to overcome difficulties and achieve self-fulfillment. And anything that drives you to that direction is something that you have to practice. You don't need to spend that much money. You can have access to books. You can have access to YouTube and many videos, and you can also have TED videos, TED, that is TED Talkings, that are wonderful, and they have many topics. And also you can take courses. For example, I highly recommend to take the how to use social media for your business, and that's the kind of courses that are short that you can use. You can also get certified in Microsoft or any other things, and you can become also good in manage your social medias in the right way if you take the time to get trained. So here is what I want to say to close, is that if we focus in our result, we will focus in what we want. What we want is a plenty of possibilities, a good body shape, a good bank account, to be able to pay all the mortgage and everything that I have as debts. To have a better tuition for my kids, to travel with the family. That's the kind of results. But there are immediate purpose, that immediate results that we need is that, for example, to have enough money for groceries, for the public services, for the mortgage, for the car payment. We have a lot of needs today that is immediate needs that needs immediate care. So what we have today with the weekly payment of the retail profits and everything that you don't need to wait for the end of the month. That gives you a cash flow that can support very well the immediate results. Once you cover the immediate results, then you go to the next level, that is your desired results. And the way to build this is to build your self-belief first. Self-belief is that you are not your past. You are what you decide. You are not tied to a fixed capacity. This is very dynamic. This is flexible. So the more you go to your belief, the more you practice your abilities, capability, then you will enhance those, and then you will bring a massive action that will bring more results, that will increase your belief, that will make you grow in your capacity, and you will have more massive action to practice. You will have better results, and this is the whole thing constantly. So the thing here is that your capability is based on this is present information. Present information is not about the past, because you are getting trained, you are reading books, you are getting in a good good talks. So your present information is what will help you, your capacity, your capability to grow, and the practice makes perfect, right? The practice makes perfect. So the more you practice, the better you will become to continue keeping this success cycle moving in your favor. So in this case, how much satisfaction, self-realization, joy, pride, happiness can there be in your life if you decide to take action? A lot, huge, big, wonderful, and that's something that you can enjoy much more. So decide, act, and add more life to your years. Decide, act, and add more life to your years. At first, as you learn, let yourself be guided by those who have already walked the path, and make your life prosperous and fulfilling. What I'm saying is, whatever you do, when you want to learn how to swim, you will learn from someone that knows how to swim. If you want to play an instrument, you will find someone that knows how to play that instrument to teach you. So at first, as you learn, let yourself be guided by those who have already walked the path, and make your life prosperous and fulfilling. I'm saying this because most of the people will say, will refer to the capacity, the capability, saying, oh, I'm not good enough in this, or I'm not young for that, or things like that. And that's not the right things to say. Is just say, oh yeah, I want to learn how to play a new instrument. It doesn't matter your age, it doesn't matter nothing. It's just your desire. And I want to learn a new language. I want to reduce a couple of pounds. I want to become a health coach. Anything that you put in the results first, then you develop the rest. But you don't never, please never start based on your past, that is what you are now, with the experience you have, that you will say many things that will just talk about your comfort zone and your habit to procrastinate, things like that. So it is important here that you be enough humble to start from when defining your result, and be able open to be guided. And this is also in the business, this is also in any area. So don't feel that you are not good enough if you don't understand social media. No, no. It's just, yeah, it's just about that you are open to learn or not. So this is the things that I wanted to share this night. You remember that we have the 45th anniversary. That is the Sheraton New York Times Square, April 20th, 21st. That we have this date, this important date for all the global community. That we are going to get together and learn from each other and have a good time, and then we're going to celebrate life here. And I would like to see many of you there. Upcoming events, of course, the Global Wellness Community New York City 2021, Santa Cruz, California, June 6, 2020. That's the Jacksons are organizing an event that day. And in March, we will be in the area of Chicago, also there, and the 28th of March, with Elaine Connolly, Madeline Sawersky, and that. Get ready for the next Nikken Now, March 18, 2020. And also, well, saying about this, I apologize because I had to move this Nikken Now for 1 week later. I really apologize that, but we have a summit of the Nikken directors, managing directors, and headquarters, that it was really important to have that meeting, and I really apologize. I will not move this Nikken Now if if it's not something really that cares and matters to the business. So I will open the microphone for those that wants to share a little bit or have some feedback, and we have 5 minutes for that, and then I will go to the next Nikken Now for Latin America. So I really appreciate that all of you came this night to be here. So I would like to hear from you. So if someone wants to participate, just raise your hand. There is some button to raise the hand, and Ruben will help me to open the microphone. Ruben is like trying to look for if someone is or not. Ruth Law. Yep. Hi, Ruth.
Yeah, so thank you so much. Procrastination has been a challenge or opportunity for me. And I'm really grateful that you brought that up and to show us that we really are stuck in that sometimes and we're very attached to it. So I appreciate that you're bringing that onto this big meeting and to share that with us and just to get that out of our system. So I just wanted to comment on that. It is something that I definitely will continue to work on.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. But I have to confess that there are days that I still procrastinating things, but the volume of actions versus procrastination now is the actions are more than the procrastinating days. So the results and the consequences based on this volume, because in the past I was like more procrastinating and less action, that I had consequences for that, of course. So it's something that is part of our human being thing. So don't pressure that much. Just keep doing more than deciding not to do. It's the way.
Thank you.
Sue.
Yeah, I appreciate hearing this again. I was in Utah, and it really struck me then, you know, to not start with your capability, which that, I mean, you know, and how many weeks have I been home now? And that's still my mindset. So this is a great reminder. It makes so much sense to start with your results. It really does. But you know, my thought process, you know, and I don't know if it's just me or if that's more human nature, to start with the capabilities. And you know, I think about procrastination. I become paralyzed from the fear. I don't know what it is, you know, when you just don't think you've got the capabilities to do what you want to do to get the results you want to do. So, you know, hearing this again and seeing it, I actually took pictures of the screen a couple different times, because just the way you said things, and you know, just to remind myself, because my brain doesn't think this way. This is a new way of thinking. So I really appreciate you doing this again tonight, because it makes a lot of sense. But for me, it's just kind of difficult to put into action.
Yes, it is a process of learning. So if you want to learn some of the things that you think that you need to develop something, is one way. But the other way is also to understand that there are, for example, I'm not good with numbers. So my best friends are good in numbers. So when I need something with numbers, I go with them. So human being also, we help each other to. So you build good relationships. So if the most you build good relationship, the better you can perform in your life. So the thing is that I am not a number person, but my best friends are good in numbers. And when they need to know something regarding relationships or human development, they come with me. So it is always something that the life is so short that you don't need to spend too much time in increase your liabilities. It's more that you strengthen your strengths. See, that you make your strengths stronger. But for that, you have to be humble to recognize where areas are not your strength, and you just ask for help. You look for those people that are strong and they love what you don't like to do, but they love to do. So if you create relationship with these people, your life will just perform very well. That's another way to see the things. Well, okay. So thank you very much for to all of you. I really appreciate very much, and I'm so happy that when I came last year here, I see so many. I knew some few of you, but now I see I recognize more faces, and I feel more in between friends. So thank you very much for letting me feel that way, and to open your arms to me and Ruben to be here. So I really appreciate that. And well, it was really nice to have this time with all of you, and I really appreciate very much that you spend this hour with me. So have a good night, and see you soon again, somewhere. We
Ohio, you're coming to Ohio. Come here.
Yeah. We will. So thank you very much, and see you soon. Be happy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Luis. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.